G'day, today I'm travelling Swiss, first class from Zurich to Singapore. What's it going to be like? You're about to find out. It's 6:30am, I spent 5 beautiful nights at this great hotel at the track, and now I'm heading off on this journey which will take me every bit of 38 hours from here to my bed in Perth. Well, it's about 3 hours to get here. Now I get to say goodbye to my son, who's off to Perth on a different airline. My flight is 8 hours later.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Well, having spent a couple of hours watching planes land out at one of the plane spotting areas, it's back now to the check-in counter for the first of my 3 flights. I'm actually here 4 hours before my flight departs, but they allow me to check in this early. Service was smiley, and I got boarding passes for all my 3 flights, so now it's off to security. This is a big airport, and they have 21 scanning machines. I got through about 5 minutes, and now we're downstairs to gate B17. But first, the lounge, of which there are many. I've been to this one, the KLM, that's nice. But I've wound up here at the Star Alliance Lounge, and the very first thing I'll say is that the air conditioning is fantastic. It is so hot out there. It'd be 25 degrees without any airflow. In here, 21, maybe even 20, and it's lovely. Food-wise, there's a number of hot dishes available. Serve yourself from these pots. I've gone with some penne pasta. Children would love that. That's a very basic meal. If you're thirsty though, there is a bar, a number of spirits available, a couple of different choices with the wines, a couple of fridges full of beer and water, soft drinks obviously. There's some chips and snacks and sweet treats, coffee machines, salads, cold cuts, and a few other things. Food-wise, I would rate this midfield. It would be great if they had someone cooking like they do in the new Perth Singapore Airlines Lounge. Even better if you had something of the calibre of Emirates or Qatar where they actually cook a full meal for you. The toilets are nice, there's plenty of seating options and different styles like these cabins over here. But I think you're coming in here mainly for a drink and some cool air, and you will be thrilled. Let me tell you a little bit about my route today. I'm going from Amsterdam to Zurich, a couple of hours I think, with Swiss. Then I've got an hour and a little bit on the ground, and that's just enough time to get me a fondue in their first class lounge. Then it's a 12-hour flight to Singapore, a few hours on the ground, and 5 hours back to Perth with Qantas. Now, why have I gone from Amsterdam and not Brussels? Because that is certainly the closer airport. Well, it turns out to book a one-way fare from Belgium to Perth and then Perth back to Amsterdam for the next race was about 2,000 euros more than doing Amsterdam-Perth, Amsterdam return. And why first class? Well, it was exactly the same price as business with a couple of Middle Eastern carriers. Yes, it's a 2-stopper instead of 1, but I have plenty of time because it's a long break, and I'd rather go comfortably. Well, that was a very comfortable lounge to spend 3 hours in, and now it's off to gate B17 for the first of 3 flights today. Well, I'm safely on board in seat 1A on this Airbus A220. Noisier than normal aircraft, smaller, only 2 seats on this side of the aisle, 3 on the other. But on this side, one of the seats is blocked out, and on the other side, the middle seat is blocked out. So normally you'd get 145 people if it was all economy, but with the 8 seats blocked out, there are 4 rows of business, there's only 137 people if it's full. This flight's just over an hour long, and I'll be interested to see what's served in terms of food. And I can tell you my camera bag, which I bring as hand luggage, is at the larger end. Still legal, but they did kick up a bit of a fuss at the gate, but I did mention that I was business class and that was fine. I was let through without any drama. So if you're travelling economy and you've got a photo bag the size of mine, you may have some trouble. There is no entertainment on this flight, there is no in-seat power, although there is a table stowed between my seat and the one next to it, and also on the aisle. And on every seat is a bottle of water when you get on. Well, not long into that flight we were served a meal, and it was a small meal, but some beautiful smoked salmon with barley salad, a couple of pieces of cheese, a shiny bread roll, and some nondescript dessert, which was a bit like a mousse with a bit of fruit down the bottom. That was okay. The standout though was the smoked salmon. Well, I'm delighted there's a business class bus because that speeds my passage through the airport. Obviously coming into the domestic, I then have to change and clear customs and go out of the international. 9:35 p.m. My flight's at 10:40. I reckon I've got plenty of time to get a fondue if I can work out where the lounge is. Maybe it's this one. Hello.
Hello.
Last year I came here and I had a fondue. I thought it was the best meal I had in an airport lounge all year.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to another one, please.
Okay.
I'm quite fortunate they've got just enough time to make a fondue with bread and potato. At 10 o'clock, which is in 19 minutes, I have to take the last shuttle to the other terminal. I did this last year, snuck in, just had time for a fondue and a glass of rosé, which I'm going to head over there now for. 7 minutes after ordering, I have fondue. It's exceptional, and I have 10 minutes to eat it. And it's every bit as good as I remembered it from last year. Another epic fondue, downed in about 8 minutes. I really would love to stay longer in this lounge, but I always get these quick layovers. And it's also very warm in here. So now it's off to a Boeing 777 and 12 hours in Swiss's first class. And we get our own separate immigration desk here, just for first class passengers, and then we get a private limo. 5-minute trip on the bus over to this terminal now. And it's still warm outside, it'll be every bit of 24, 25 degrees out here. Now I flew this leg last year, I think, and I remembered it being pretty darn good. And I'll be disappointed if it's not as good as that. Well, how good's this? This is 2K in the first class cabin on this Boeing 777. 300 ER extended range. There are 2 rows of 4 seats. 1 aisle, 2 in the middle, aisle, 1 on the other side. Straight up, a warm towel. That'll just make me redder than normal. And I always love checking out amenities kits. We have face cream, some nondescript brand of toothpaste. This must be the equivalent of Colgate because the toothbrush is also Elmex, same as the toothpaste. Face mask and hand cream. I've now shut myself off to the rest of the cabin by simply closing these 2 doors, and I'm enjoying a glass of Pommery served by a steward before takeoff. One thing about this suite is that you can have a friend come and join you for dinner. They can sit in this seat opposite, you can have a big table out here and have a lovely meal 30,000 feet in the air. And have a look at these windows here. I get 3 on my suite, but they have this lovely glass in front of it. Well, it's not actually glass, it's Perspex. And what are these headphones like? They're certainly not Bose headphones, and they're nothing like what you get on Emirates in first class, but they're certainly better than what you get in economy. Seat controls are all in this panel here, along with a remote control for a whole host of things, including the lights above and the television. And this light is a classy touch. Oh, and if you want to raise the blinds on this window, there's 2 buttons here that raise and lower them. We're now airborne. We took off about 10 minutes behind schedule. About 20 minutes into the flight, the crew's come down and said, what do I want for dinner? I've ordered my dinner, but I'm going to have it after I have a sleep. Now, if you're wondering what I paid for this flight, now it's a return flight and takes into account some 36 hours in the air, it works out at about $213 per hour. Now, bear in mind, there was an hour of a very ordinary business class, 12 hours of stunning first class, and then 5 hours of very good business class with Qantas. And on the way back, I'm actually going Lufthansa first class on their 747. I'd actually forgotten that this was a closed suite, so I'm quite delighted that we do have this. And as you can see, there are spaces for a couple of jackets to be hung here, a little mirror up here, and a couple of storage boxes there. Let me talk about the crew on board. Every flight that I've done, I think I've done 3 in first class with them over the last couple of years. Excellent service. They're very well-mannered and polite. Not too formal, but certainly not informal. And I think that comes from the Swiss culture of serving people. In terms of where they sit in the pecking order of airlines in terms of service, yeah, they'd be up there, right up there, I'd suggest. These slippers are easily the best I've ever had on an airline. There's about a centimetre thick padding in there. They're well worth taking off the flight. Now, I'm going to have a snooze. We're about 2 hours in, and I can tell you the mattress is sensational. The bed was made up in quick time, and I'll talk to you on the other side. Well, I've just woken up after a beautiful 7.5 hours of sleep on a magnificent mattress with a nice quilt. And what I like about this suite is that there is, unlike say the Emirates suite, which has like a desk at the other end, there's nothing. There's just complete freedom down there. And in a moment, I'll have my breakfast, which is actually dinner. First off, it's some lovely salmon from Norway, but prepared in Switzerland. Well, that's the entree done. Well, Americans would say the appetizer, but salmon was okay. Nothing spectacular, but nothing offensive about it. And there was a little, like a prawn cocktail thing in there that was mid-range. Before I get on to the main course, which I've ordered veal, they brought out all the wines for me to have a look at. Are any of these whites your personal favourite? Or how about these red wines? The one on the left is from Australia. That was a remarkably good meal. It was veal, it was so tender, which is unusual on a plane. Normally it's pretty tough. Great sauce, some lovely pasta. I just give that, I reckon, 8.4 out of 10. It's one of my best meals on a plane in a long time. Well, that was absolute joy on Swiss first class. Highly recommend it. I'm now 29 hours into my trip home. I have about 3 hours here in this airport and then a 5-hour flight back to Perth with Qantas. Hello, sir.
Hi, Mr. Elman.
Hello, that is me. Right, what are we doing?
I'll escort you to the first class lounge.
Beautiful.
Qantas first class lounge.
Well, I didn't expect an escort, but I'm certainly pleased to get one because it does take a little bit of the searching out of the equation. And this is Qantas's first class lounge, which I don't think I've been to before. Well, this is the shower. It was reserved for me. I like that touch. Now, I have about 10 minutes and back out there for some food, a bit of work, and then it's off to my next flight. Well, shower done, I'm clean again, but have a look up here. A skylight. Never seen that in an airport shower. Thank you. Well, quite surprised to find that they had Southern Comfort here, and they won't pour you a double, but they will give you 2 drinks if you have a friend, or an imaginary friend. Now, I've had a look through this dining menu here, and there's some lovely stuff on here, don't get me wrong, but they don't have what I want, so I asked for it. And they said they'd do it for me as a favour. The first attempt was a little bit lost in translation, so we're going back for a second go. That is perfect, mate. And this is what I wanted. It's a Vegemite and cheese sandwich. Oh yeah! It has been probably 7 weeks since I've had one of these. Of course, if you're from anywhere else but Australia, you're not going to like this. It's gone a bit heavy on the cheese, but can't even be critical of that. That's just so good. That gets a 9.5 out of 10. 1 Vegemite and cheese sandwich and 3 Southern Comfort and Cokes later, we're now going through security to head off to the final flight of my triple header. Through security, and I've still got my escort here. He's carrying my bags for me. This is great. I highly recommend this service, and I did not expect this.
Only from Qantas. I'll see you again.
Thank you.
All right. Have a safe flight, sir.
Good evening, how are you? Could I just have a look at the boarding pass real quick?
Time's up.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Thank you. Well, I'm on board. I got seat 2E. I actually asked for 3A and I was all sorted until the last minute, and then bang, they bumped me into one of these middle seats. But it's of little consequence, I guess, on a flight where I'll probably have a snooze. Got an amenities kit. That's what it looks like. Hand cream, face cream, lip balm, some socks, earplugs, eye mask, these things, and a dental kit. Pretty ordinary toothbrush, this one. We're about to start our descent into Perth, and I've been going now for 36 hours. I did have a meal on board, not their best effort, I'm afraid. Started off with a salad of grilled prawns with spiced cauliflower, lentils and sumac dressing, and then it was seared snapper with some potatoes and beans. Yeah, not their best work, I'm afraid, but I had that monstrous Vegemite and cheese sandwich in the Qantas lounge. Well, this is me back on Australian soil in Perth after 3 months away. If you've enjoyed this video, now is the time to do me a favour and please like it, and if you're not subscribed, do that too. And for a whole lot of extra content, head over there and have a look. Thanks for watching and stay passionate. Turn around and wave at us.